Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for today, Friday, May 27, 2016.
Commissioner Davis, Rodriguez, James, Repenning, and Jacinto are present. President James, we have a quorum. May we start with Bureau introductions, please, starting with Bureau of Engineering.
Good morning. Edmund Yu, Bureau of Engineering.
April Mancha, Bureau of Sanitation.
Good morning, Sherman Torres, Bureau of Street Services.
Good morning, Russ Drizella, Bureau of Contract Administration.
Good morning, Chris Enriquez, Bureau of Street Lighting.
Good morning, Ted Jordan, Public Works General Counsel.
Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. President James, we received a speaker card under General Public Comment, and we also have some speaker cards on item number 2.
Okay, let's take our first item of business, the approval of the meeting minutes from the meeting of Monday, May 9th, 2016. Is there a second to my motion to approve those meeting minutes? By Commissioner Rodriguez. Any objection? Without objection, we'll approve those meeting minutes. A couple of administrative items, and then we'll go to general public comment with Dr. Williams. The City Clerk has transmitted the action of the City Council authorizing the Board to execute Amendment Number 3 to the contract with Choi Associates to provide architectural services for the North Central Animal Care Center project. It's being sent back from the Council for execution by the Board. Is there a second to my motion that we adopt Agenda Item Number 4 forthwith? By Commissioner Rodriguez. Any objection? Without objection, we will do so. Agenda Item Number 5, the Mayor has approved and returned for further processing and authorizes the Board to execute a memorandum of agreement between the City of Carson, and the City of Lawndale for cost sharing of administering the development of the Enhanced Watershed Management Program and the Coordinated Integrated Monitoring Program for the Dominguez Channel Watershed Management Area. Again, coming back for execution. Is there a second to my motion that we adopt Agenda Item Number 5 forthwith? By Commissioner Davis. Any objection? Without objection, we will do so. And finally, on the administrative items, Agenda Item Number 6, specifications have been submitted for Board adoption and authorization to advertise for the invitation of bids in Council Districts 9 and 14 for the North Outfall Sewer Rehabilitation Unit 6, that's Hooper to Wilson, and Unit 7, Wilson to the Los Angeles River. The estimate's $18,230,700. The bid receipt date is Wednesday, July 13, 2016. Is there a second to my motion that we adopt Agenda Item Number 6 forthwith? By Commissioner Jacinto. Any objection? Without objection, we will do so. Let's go to general public comment. And Dr. Williams. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I haven't been here recently, but you still have the same bad audio sounds. But anyway, we're going to be back on, or I'm going to be back on next Friday and the Friday following because we're doing a survey for potholes along the Bus 78, 79 corridor and the Dash El Sereno corridors. And we will be giving you a fairly detailed survey results of all of the potholes that still are remaining, especially under Bus 78, 79. One of the issues that came up, though, was maybe MTA, Metro, might pay for some of it. Maybe LADOT might pay for some of it because these are major bus corridors and they're getting hammered. The buses are being hammered. Actually, just talk to any of the Metro bus drivers and you can get a detailed survey of every pothole in the city of Los Angeles on the major arterials, and there are a lot of them. So we'll be back next week with a survey and the week following survey for the Dash route. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. And by the way, we have one of our, maybe you're going to approach Sherman right now from the Bureau of Street Services, and you happen to have a man who's in the right department. Just interested because of mostly the right lane in those bus corridors and which of those potholes might be in the bus pad versus the paving. But Sherman's the right guy for you to talk to.
First one will be from Maycrest to Big Bend.
Okay, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And Sherman will also communicate with you, Dr. Williams, about the best way to report those for the quickest action from the Bureau. Okay. So is that all for general public comment, Mr. Campos?
That is it.
Okay, then we'll close general public comment. Agenda item number 1, Bureau of Engineering for Council District 14. recommending the board authorize $62,330.99 in additional contingency and approve a revised construction budget of $8,183,031. And two, authorize the city engineer to issue an emergency change order, there's four of them, numbers 32, 33, 46, and 48, to Skanska, Stacy, and Whitbeck, a joint venture for the task order package number 1 on off-site intersections for the viaduct detour project for the 6th Street Viaduct Replacement Project, John Koo. And the board report gave a nice summary of what's happening on each of these, but it would be worth just a statement on the oral record for each of them so the oral record is clear. So go ahead, sir.
Okay. Good morning. My name is John Koo with the Bureau of Engineering, 6th Street Viaduct Division. This report seeks city engineer authority to issue 4 emergency change orders for the intersections construction package. The change in work are mainly attributed to ADA curb ramps related design modifications necessary due to existing non-conforming conditions adjacent to these specific areas. So that's my statement. To authorize this work without delay, since the amount would exceed the original contract contingency of 5%, BOE requested early approval from Commissioner Jacinto, and that approval was granted on April 26. Additional funds are in place, and the work is currently in progress. The entire package 1 on off-site intersections work relative to the overall viaduct project is near full construction completion. This concludes my report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions from Mr. Koo regarding agenda item number 1? I don't have any questions. Commissioner Sinto's made a motion. I'll second it. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 1. Any problem sending it forthwith? We'll send number 1 forthwith. Thank you, sir. Have a nice weekend. Agenda item number 2, Metro West Side Purple Line Extension Project, Section 1. This is in Council District 4. Recommending the board approve the following requests to facilitate the installation of temporary decking for the Wilshire-La Brea, or the temporary decking system for the Wilshire-La Brea station box. Number 1, a temporary closure Wilshire Boulevard between Detroit Street and La Brea Avenue, that's phase 1, for 3 weekends as follows. Friday, June 10th, 2016 at 9 p.m. to Monday, June 13th, 2016 at 6 a.m. Friday, June 17th, 2016 at 9 p.m. to Monday, June 20th, 2016 at 6 a.m. And Friday, June 24th, 2016 at 9 p.m. to Monday, June 27th, 2016 at 6 a.m. And 2, to temporarily close the intersection of Wilshire Boulevard and La Brea. This is for phase 2 of the project for 4 weekends as follows. This is in July. Friday, July 8, 2016, 9 p.m. to Monday, July 11th, 2016 at 6 a.m. Friday, July 15th, 2016 at 9 p.m. to Monday, July 18th, 2016 at 6 a.m. Friday, July 22nd, 2016 at 9 p.m. to Monday, July 25th, 2016 at 6 a.m. And Friday, July 29, 2016 at 9 p.m. to Monday, August 1, 2016 at 6 a.m. Katrina Yamakawa, good morning.
Good morning. I'm from the Bureau of Engineering, Metro Transit Division. I'm here regarding this Metro Subway Extension Project request to close Wilshire Boulevard for 7 weekends, starting Friday, June 10th, 2016 to Monday, August 1st, 2016, with no work during Independence Day holiday weekend. Metro and their contractor, Skanska Trailer Shea, is requesting to close Wilshire Boulevard to facilitate the installation of the temporary decking system for the future Wilshire-La Brea subway station. Once these deck panels are installed, further station excavation and construction can continue below the street, lessening the impact to the community. These weekend closures will begin at 9 p.m. on Fridays, and the street will reopen at 6 a.m. the following Monday. This work will be conducted in 2 phases. Phase 1 will close Wilshire Boulevard from Detroit to La Brea Avenue. Phase 2 will close the Wilshire Boulevard and La Brea Avenue intersection. LADOT has already reviewed and approved the worksite traffic control plans and detour routes for this proposed street closure. Representatives from LADOT are here today as well to provide any answers to any traffic questions you may have. Metro has done a great job of with keeping the neighboring communities informed about this closure and the impact it will have on them. Council District 4 has given their concurrence, and it's also included in the board report package. And we have Casey Shuda from Metro Construction Relations and Jill Steiner from STS to provide a brief presentation regarding this decking closure and the community outreach that they have done.
Great, thank you. So I do have speaker cards from Casey Shuda as well as Ms. Steiner. So in whichever order you'd prefer to go, and obviously we don't have our 2-minute time limit on it. You're the applicant, so with the presentation, go right ahead.
Sure. Hi, good morning. I'm Jill Steiner with Skanska Trailer Shade Joint Venture. You guys all have a little package here. I'm going to walk you through it real quick. It's just a little overview of the decking and the detour routes that were approved with LADOT. Should I? Oh, I may have to slouch. All right, if you go to sheet 2 through here, this right here is just an example of the decking system. It basically goes from the street through the sidewalk area in the Wilshire-La Brea area. What we will be doing is we will be installing deck beams approximately 70 feet wide across the width of Wilshire Boulevard. We'll put upwards of 6 to 7, 8, or 9 of them in over a weekend, and then we will place concrete panels on the top of them. If you go to the next page, this is just a photo. This is an example of what is being done at Crenshaw right now. They are working on their station construction as well. This is a good example of the type of work that will be going on from that Friday night to Monday morning. The next one's also another picture. This is during the night hours through the weekend decking. This is a good shot. You can see a lot of the utilities. That's why this work goes so slow, and we request a lot of weekends to do this work because there's a lot of utilities that have to be worked around in the first 10 feet of excavation to get the deck beams and the deck panels installed. The next photo here, this is an example of what the street will look like after the decking is installed. You see we've got the concrete deck panels, a lot of temporary signals, lots of K-rail still. Street will be restriped though and opened up to traffic once it's done. The next page here is the schedule. We have phases 1, 1B, and phase 2. That's what we're discussing right now. Later we will get into phases 3 and 4. Like Katrina mentioned, phase 1 is from Detroit and Wilshire to the La Brea intersection. We have a sub-phase in there to close down Wilshire Boulevard from Cloverdale to La Brea. That's so we can do some of the temporary civil work and tie-in. And then we also have phase 2, which is closing the La Brea intersection itself. As mentioned before, the work will start Friday night, 9 p.m. Street will be back open by 6 o'clock on Monday morning. The next couple slides are the detour routes that were approved with LADOT. It shows the work area in a little bit more detail here. So this one here shows the work from Detroit to La Brea. The next slide shows the detour that's approved with LADOT. The hard detour is down at Fairfax. Everybody goes up to 6th Street and comes back down La Brea back to Wilshire Boulevard. That's both for eastbound and westbound direction. Phase 1B, this is where we have to take a little bit more of Wilshire Boulevard. This is to allow us to do the temporary tie-in for the civil work. Our closure is slightly different here for the Detroit folks. They actually have to come down through Carling Way to access their residence up through there. Phase 2, this is the larger detour routes through here. This is the intersection that will be closing down Friday to Monday. The detour route east-west is very simple. It's Fairfax to 6th Street to Highland. The north-south detour is a little bit further. It takes you up and down La Brea to 3rd Street to Fairfax to Olympic to tie back in. That's both for northbound and southbound. Something that's not shown in here is bus detours. We've worked out all of the bus detours with the buses that run up and down La Brea and east-west down Wilshire Boulevard. We have separated their detours from vehicular detours to help, reduce the volume on the detour route. So that's all worked out as well. It's just not shown in the presentation. I'm going to turn it over to Casey now. She's going to go through the community relations portion. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, Casey Shuda, Metro Construction Relations Manager. We've been talking about decking with the community since August of 2015. We've been utilizing our social media pages to get the word out. We are also started advertising this past week in 10 different local papers, 15 different radio stations, and that's English, Spanish, and Korean language. We're also doing a door-to-door outreach, a 1.5 mile radius around the work zone. We're going to get to those people who might not follow our social media or might not be interested in getting construction updates from us on a regular basis, but we want them to know about this closure. We're holding a business meeting for the businesses in the area. We're going to have some social media experts at the meeting, talking to them about hashtagging and noticing a way to get business during this closure when most people might be avoiding the area. We have regular community meetings every other month, so we'll be having 2 during the process of these weekends to hear people's concerns. We've also created a bunch of marketing items. We have this trifold that I'll leave for you. It'll be mailed to 30,000 residents around the project area. It includes all the detour maps. Every week we'll be putting notifications through email or social media and online that say which phase of the detour people will know, so they'll know by Tuesday what detour they should be taking come that Friday. We'll have postcards that are mailed halfway through the decking to remind people of what's going on and if they have any questions where to contact us. We'll be doing a bus drop on all the buses that utilize these lines and may be impacted by the detours, let people know to plan in advance. And then we also have a decking page on our website dedicated to say everything about decking, what it is, what the detours are, everything they need to know. And then since August, in 2015, we held 65 briefings just on this topic. And since 2016 began, we've held 78. We've distributed 90,000 flyers to the community. Those are either walked door to door or mailed, so we can get in front of as many people as possible. And so we continue our outreach. It's ongoing. We have a 24/7 hotline. If anyone has any problems during this entire decking, they can get in touch with a live person.
Thank you, Casey. I think it's safe to say, but I want to confirm it with you, is I don't think we have a representative from the council office here.
Yes.
Oh, hi. Oh, of course. So I was going to presume, because of all the meetings that we've been in, that the council office is on board with the outreach program. The councilman himself, as you know, has been involved, as recently as last week in our conference room on the outreach plan. So I just wanted the record to be clear that the council office is supporting this as well.
Yes.
Okay. Anything further? Any questions for either the council office or for Metro or DOT? Commissioner Davis.
I noticed that you used the Crenshaw effort as an example of some of the work that will be done, and I think that's good. The thing that they have done in terms of notification to traffic and customers and constituents in the area is to also post within a mile or blocks of the impacted area notification so people who are driving can appropriately detour. That's one of the things that we were able to get implemented in the Crenshaw area. Are they doing the same in the impacted area in this Wilshire?
Yes, we have several changeable message signs that will be on the streets, alerting people to the upcoming closures and telling them to get out of the area sooner than the last detour. Great. So actually we've had an eastbound Wilshire closure the past 2 weekends, preparing for these full weekend closures. And since those times and our observations with DOT, who's been out on site with us, we've added additional signage. We saw way too many people coming up to the very last end and then that causing a blockade. Yes. So we've added more changeable message signs, and since each weekend as we add more, people detour more before the last possible stop.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Penning.
Hi, Casey.
Hi.
This is right by LACMA, right?
Our detour starts around LACMA, yes.
Okay, so I'm assuming you guys are working with the museum that gets very busy on the weekends to make sure that their clients, their customers are informed of the impacts.
Yes, and we're going to be adding some additional signage at LACMA, letting people know that if they're headed eastbound, there will be a closure, so maybe to avoid Wilshire Boulevard altogether.
Thank you.
And Commissioner Penning, I would just add, for your comfort, the community around LACMA and the LACMA community has been deeply engaged with Metro on this, thus the fact that, we haven't received any objections from them or anything like that. But they're well aware and have been, from my own eyes, just a very helpful partner so far. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. Thank you, Casey, for that. Anything further? Okay, is there a second to my motion that we adopt agenda item number 2? By Commissioner Penning, any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 2. Thank you, everyone. Any problem sending it forthwith? We'll send number 2 forthwith. Agenda item number 3. A motion from the Bureau of Engineering, Council Districts 1, 3, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, recommending that the board authorize the execution of the construction order for the sidewalk repair program. This is package number 22 to Mike Perlich and Sons in the amount of $1,138,049.50 with a not-to-exceed limit of $1,393.60. The reference for council file is council file number 14-163S4. Mr. Nelson.
Carl Nelson, Bureau of Engineering, Sidewalk Division. Good morning, Commissioners. Yes, before you this morning is a request to issue the construction order to the company Mike Perlich in order to perform sidewalk repair at 21 sites that were referred to the program by the Department of Disability. The Perlich Company is from the geotechnical on-call, emergency on-call list. And when we bid this work, we actually had responses from 5 firms, and of course, Perlich being the lowest responsive proposal at 1.1+ million. This site, this package of sites, it also includes the use of pervious concrete at Maka Park, and Maka Park is out in Council District 3, which is in the west half of the valley. Another unique site as part of this construction package is the York Park, and York Park, it's at the intersection of York and Avenue 50.
Councilman Blumenfield will be happy to hear about the pervious concrete being used there.
Pervious? You handle the question.
No, Carl, not a question. I was just making the record clear that Councilman Blumenfield asks fairly regularly about the pervious concrete.
Yes, Commissioner, sadly, that reflects my personal situation in this room.
The acoustics are, sorry about that. Yeah, the acoustics are bad for everyone, Carl. Go ahead.
Thank you, Commissioner. Let's see. So an observation about using the emergency on-call is that it does not have a participation requirement as it's an on-call emergency contract. So there's no report on participation that the contractor will be using. It does include a contingency. It's 22%, which arguably is a little bit sizable, but what we have discovered over the past year of performing sidewalk repair work is that it is routine that the inspector and the construction manager, in cooperation with the contractor, tend to find additional things to repair when they get to the sites. Hence, that's why it's something I would consider slightly more than a normal 10 to 15% contingency. This one is at 22%. There are tree removals associated with this construction package. There are 5 of the 21 sites that do require tree removals, and in all of those cases, they were what's rhetorically called onesies and twosies, such that the tree removal per site did not rise to the level that it would come before you in the form of a tree removal recommendation from the Bureau of Street Services. But there are a total of 8 tree removals at 5 different sites of the 21 sites in the construction package. Now, those 8 removals will cause planting of 16 trees, and the Bureau of Street Services, as part of the tree removal permits, have directed the Bureau of Engineering where to replant the 16 trees. Another thing of note on trees, This package actually includes 19 situations that there has to be root pruning. And of course, root pruning is an opportunity to keep the tree while repairing the sidewalk that's been damaged because of the tree. So I was happy to see that there were 19 instances that it would not facilitate a tree removal for this construction package. Other than that, I would suggest it's fairly normal. It's our second endeavor on Department on Disability sites, the first being construction package number 21 that was delegated to the Bureau of Street Services. So requesting the board's concurrence to issue the construction orders such that we can carry forward repairing sidewalks on behalf of Department of Disability.
Thank you, Carl. Just a couple of questions real quick from me. I recall from the board report or the motion, we have 7 contractors on the on-call list currently, and 5, yes ma'am.
That's correct. There are 7 contractors from the pre-qualified list and 5 responded.
Right, 5 responded. Maybe I'm a little outside of the boundaries of this motion, but when will we have an opportunity to potentially increase the length of the list, of the on-call list for this type of work? Is it not till 2019?
Okay. Commissioners, through the fall and through the spring, the Sidewalk Division has, with the cooperation of our coworkers in contract administration, have secured a list of candidate firms for what we call the small contractors list.
Right.
And Ms. Kim, I believe there were 35 eligible firms that submitted qualifying proposals to be included on the list. So you've got that number.
That's a separate list. That's for the less than $100,000?
That's correct.
Jobs, right. Which I'm thrilled that there were 35. Maybe there will be more from that list as well. But I ask because, and Carl, you can dissuade me of my concern, and I'll just tell you on the record what it is. My concern is that with an on-call list of 7 and a sidewalk plan the size of what we're embarking upon, that we might not have a big enough list. Now, maybe we have enough with city crews to make up the difference. Maybe I'm just way off in left field anyway, and and you guys aren't the least bit concerned about it. But I'm just kind of thinking going forward a little bit. So, Russ, you from Bureau of Contract Administration, any thoughts on that? I see you making a move to your microphone.
Well, if I may, sir, generally on all the board's pre-qualified lists, there is a standing window of opportunity before the end of the term of the pre-qualification. So if the Bureau of Engineering chose to reopen the pre-qualification offering, say sometime next year or later, they could do that and get more candidates.
And that's just to solve the problem that might be the problem that I'm describing?
They can do that for that reason. Generally, it's to allow anybody who maybe didn't make it before to make it again or another opportunity, but that certainly is the best reason of all what you brought up. So.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Campos.
Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. President, I think there's 3 ways that you can look at it. One is looking at the pre-qualified list that you have before you, which is the motion before you, which is the 7. We also have the small business or the small contractor pool, which is the 35 that will be separate. My understanding is that majority of those are first-time contractors that will be doing the business.
Sure.
So that's another great thing that happened there. The third perspective is looking at the sidewalk repair program as a whole, as a citywide movement. So next year for fiscal year 16-17, the City Council just adopted the budget that basically redirects majority of the funding from the contractor side into the in-house staff doing a lot of the sidewalk repair work. However, we will be implementing a sidewalk repair incentive program to incentivize homeowners to move forward with some of the repair work, and that's where the second list that you referred to comes into play. The motion before you is the established list right now, which is for the current work.
Sure. Yeah, I recognize I am flirting with the boundaries of this motion, but just going forward, I wanted to feel comfortable. So, okay, thank you. Commissioner Arcento.
Thank you, President James. Carl, thank you for the report. So the package 22, can you just state for the record the rationale of using the pre-qualified emergency, pre-qualified versus the regular call for proposals?
The sidewalk program in the council file 14 S16304, it directed staff to move expeditiously using existing contracts to accomplish the work. And the fact that it's quicker to go through procuring of services from an existing on-call contract was taken advantage of. It's simply to be more expeditious in moving the work from a planning stage to a in the street making the actual repairs.
Thank you.
Commissioner Davis?
No, I don't have any questions. I do understand that the on-call would be more expeditious. I guess that is certainly the strength. The challenge would be how can these, this is work that's going out, right, to bid, right? The challenge would be how do we create an opportunity to be inclusive of traditional businesses, perhaps smaller businesses, emerging businesses that might seek to have an opportunity to be included. And how can we achieve that in these opportunities that each of the council offices might do when they bring these proposals before us? Moving forward, that certainly probably would be something that we might want to have a vision for moving forward.
I'm sorry, was there a question?
Do we satisfy that with the smaller, the list of the 35 firms? Do we satisfy at least a portion of Commissioner Davis's concern?
Yes, but besides the small contractors who will be addressing smaller sites, we also have a street improvement pre-qualified list that addresses President James' concern, so that we're not limited only on the geotech structural on-call list. We also have the street improvement list as well as the small contractors.
Thank you. Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes, I just want to thank the Bureau, and I also want to especially thank Contract Administration and John Reamer and Hannah for being so helpful to ensuring that we are carving out opportunities for the small businesses that wouldn't otherwise have an opportunity to compete for contracting as a part of this process. It's so important to make sure that our actions speak louder than our words, and that in an environment like this, when we're going to have so much money available for both expanding our internal capacity for our public employees to do the work, but more importantly to supplement with the kind of strategic opportunities that we have to have small businesses, and more importantly just making sure that we fulfill the obligations that we have to our taxpayers to get the work done. This is just, to me, part of the overall effort, and I know John and Hannah and so many members of our contract administration team were just, they understood the need to do that, to provide that inclusion, and I want to thank the Bureau of Engineering for embracing that and helping to implement that as well. So just kudos to all the staff for helping to make that dream a reality.
Thank you, Commissioner Rodriguez. Anything further on this item? Was that a motion, Commissioner Rodriguez? Seconded by myself, Commissioner Davis, and Commissioner Arcento. Any objection? Without objection, that will be the order. Any issue sending agenda item number 3 forthwith? We'll send it forthwith. Thank you. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you, commissioners.
Agenda item number 7, we have an oral report regarding the status of consultant contracts from the Bureaus of Engineering and the Bureaus of Sanitation. Edmund or Kim, either one, whichever one. Come on. Well, Edmund's closer.
Good morning, Edmund Yu, Bureau of Engineering. I'm going to give you the report of the status of the consultant personal service contract. Within the next 120 days, the Bureau has identified that 19 contracts will be expiring in that time. list of these contracts are shown on the report in front of you with more information. Basically, these 19 contracts can be broken down into 3 major work functions. The first one is mainly for our right-of-way surface, for our real estate division to have all these consultants to handle some of the works for like appraisals and property acquisition in conjunction with public projects. Out of the 5, we anticipate that we will still need to extend the contract and to continue to use this in the future. So Bureau staff is in the process of extending this contract for a 2-year contract in the future. The next batch is a group of 13 projects under our landscape architectural design services. They are mainly used to provide landscaping for parks projects in the city. Again, the Bureau staff indicated that we will still need these contracts to provide service in the future, so I'm also in the process of extending these contracts or amending these contracts. The last item is a contract under our program management and construction management. This is a project definitely we are utilizing this contract, and again, this is a plan for the Bureau to amend this contract and to extend this for another 5 years. This concludes my report.
Questions for Mr. Yu on the Bureau of Engineering portion of agenda item number 7? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Kim? Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners, Bureau Representatives, City Attorney, and Executive Officer. My name is Kim Huynh. I'm with the Bureau of Sanitation, and I'm here to present the monthly report for the month of May. Sanitation has 5 contracts that are expiring within the next 120 days. These were already reported on the quarterly report, so I'll just quickly go over them. 4 of the contracts will be renewed, and they are as follows. Ballard Marine Construction, which expires in June. This is for the Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant outfall inspections. The project manager Sanitation is amending this contract to extend the contract term and increase the cost ceiling. The project manager is also finalizing the draft of the new RFP for services. Next, 2 are with NASA Services and Universal Waste System contracts. They will be expiring in July. These contracts are for the implementation of the multifamily residential recycling program. Sanitation will exercise the renewal options contained in these contracts to extend the contract terms until the implementation of the franchise program. The board reports for both are being finalized. The 4th is with Conejo Crest Landscape, which will expire in September. This is for the landscape and site services at the DC Japanese Garden. And this sanitation will exercise the first 1-year renewal option contained in the contract, and we're preparing a new RFP. And the renewal board report is being finalized by the project manager. And finally, there's 1 contract that will not be renewing, and it's with the Simi Valley Landfill and Recycling Center, which expires in July. This is for the landfill disposal of grit and screenings. A new contract with the selected contractor from the RFP process was adopted by Council in February, and it was approved by Board for execution in March. And that concludes my report. If you have any questions, I'd be more than
Thank you. Ms. Nguyen, any questions for sanitation on this portion of the report? Thank you, ma'am. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you.
The oral report will be received. Mr. Executive Officer, have we cleared the desk?
Yes, you have.
Okay, then we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.